the campus of Cal State Northridge, the 1982 NCAA Women's Volleyball Division II Championship game. Tonight, the Highlanders of the University of California, Riverside meet the host Matadors of California State University, Northridge. Hi everybody, I'm Dave Marcus along with Wayne Leighton D'Antoni. We are here in a noisy gym at Cal State Northridge. Tonight, the final game in the 1982 NCAA Division II Volleyball Championship. And the Matadors have a fine showing of rooters here for tonight's game. We are all set for an outstanding matchup, and Wayne, these two teams are ready to go.
Boy, you can say that again, Dave. We also have a lot of fans who are ready to go for this one. What a lot of emotion and enthusiasm on both sides. Dave, you're talking about a tremendous rivalry. We're talking about the co-champions of the California Collegiate Athletic Association. They split 4 games this season, and UC Riverside won the championship in a playoff, so they took the season series 3 games to 2. There's a lot of deep feelings on both sides, a big rivalry. We should have an outstanding matchup.
These two teams, obviously, to get to the finals, have had outstanding seasons. Northridge comes in tonight with a record of 33 wins and only 9 losses. UC Riverside, 30 wins and only 5 losses. Tonight, the showdown, all the marbles, the 1982 championship. Some of the players you'll be seeing tonight who have led their respective squads in the preliminary games, the semifinal games. Cal State Northridge defeated Cal State Sacramento in 5 games. They only had difficulty in a couple of those games. They were led by a couple of high-jumping, outstanding scorers. Eileen Hiss, who you will see wearing number 13 tonight for Northridge. 12 kills in that game, but 2 of her teammates even more. Linda Wilson with 15 kills, and Linda Nelson with 15 kills also. They both can sky, they both can score. On the other side of the ledger, the University of California, Riverside. They were led by Star Clark, 10 kills, and also by Kim Holder with 13 kills in a 3-game win over Portland State. And Wayne, they were easy victories.
Very easy, Dave. 15-13, 15-7, and 15-9. They breezed to that victory, but they're not going to have it as easy tonight.
In the preliminary game, you saw that Portland State last week defeated Cal State Sacramento quite easily. And remember, Cal State Sacramento took Northridge to 5 games, and UC Riverside blew by Portland State, the 3rd place finisher, in only 3. So you'd have to rate Riverside the favorite coming in here tonight.
But as we've seen, Dave, last week, anything can happen once you get to the finals here. You've got 4 great teams coming into the finals. We had a great matchup last week. We expect an even better matchup this week between these 2 stalwart teams.
On a somber note, exactly 1 year ago today, Alana Foster, one of the fine players for Riverside last year, unfortunately died following a heart attack suffered during a team workout. The Highlanders never recovered from that during the tournament last year, and they have dedicated this year's championship to the memory of Alana Foster.
Certainly is a moving story.
And now from Cal State Northridge, the national anthem. The determination written in the faces of the squads you saw out there just a moment ago waiting for the national anthem. How did they get here? Well, Riverside had the home court advantage in the Western Regionals. They defeated Northern Colorado in 3 straight games and then were taken to 4 by UC Davis to take the Western Regional title. As for the Matadors of Northridge, well, they have breezed through. They had a straight set victory in the finals over North Dakota State of the Eastern Regional, and one of those games 15-0. They won the other two 15-13, so the one in the middle perhaps a little aberration. But we are just about set to go. The side out to UC Riverside. They will serve first, and we are underway. And the first point of these championships goes to UC Riverside. Perhaps a little nervousness on the part of the Matadors, a little bit tentative on that one. Beautiful shot that time by Kathy Moore. Put it in the corner near the sideline, and it is 2-0. Debbie Bush serving. She was all tournament in the regionals. A held ball called against Shelley Mosby of Northridge, and it is 3-0. The Highlanders quickly jumping out to the lead. And again, a lack of communication, and it's going to result in a quick timeout called by the Matadors.
Well, Dave, not even, rather most of the fans have just barely gotten settled into their seats, and a lot of people have yet not, haven't sat down yet, I should say. And already it's 4-0 in favor of UC Riverside. This is a blazing start. We thought that Portland State got up to a hot start last week, but this is really amazing. And of course, the Cal State Northridge girls have got to get together and regroup right now and try to maintain their composure.
The coach of Cal State Northridge, the head coach, Walt Kerr, the gentleman you saw with the carnation in his lapel. The assistant coaches are Kerry de la Puente and Rob Wortman. The serve is out, and you can hear the relief from the Northridge supporters here. No, it was in. It's 5-0. They need 15 points per game, and Riverside off to a quick 6. Play, a good block by Kathy Carley, number 7 for the Highlanders, and 7 matches the number of points they have run off consecutively to start this game. Debbie Bush still serving, and it's 7-0. The top-rated Highlanders seated first in the tournament. That one goes out of bounds, and the Lady Matadors down 0-7 with their first opportunity to serve. This is Shelley Mosby. That one might have been going out. Side out to the Highlanders. A vocal number of Riverside supporters have made the trek here to Northridge.
That was a valiant effort by Linda Nelson that time. 5'8" sophomore from Venice, California, but not quite valiant enough.
And this time it is Kim Holder, who had 13 kills in the last game Riverside played against Portland State. And she has given her squad a 9-0 lead, and another timeout quickly taken by Cal State Northridge. They are in disbelief.
There you have a good look at the Northridge side right there, and they're trying to talk it out at the moment. This one barely about 5 minutes underway, and it's already UC Riverside on top 9-0. Dave, if this was a boxing match, it'd be a TKO in the first round.
Momentum is so important. Usually the early momentum is not the momentum which will last throughout the game, but this may be something that the Matadors are going to have a hard time recovering from. They are down 9-0, and as you mentioned, when we have played but 5 minutes. And the Highlander Rooters whoop it up across the side. Number 2 in the middle for Riverside is Star Clark. Side out for Northridge. Heather Hafner, she was all tournament, will be serving now for the Lady Matadors. Looking to get their first point on the board. Nice save by Hafner on the drive by Star Clark, but it's a side out for Riverside.
Nice shot by Clark that time. She's the most easily discernible player, as you see her there serving on the court. She's 6'1½", the tallest player on the floor tonight. How about that one?
The serve goes into the net, so the side out to Northridge. Star Clark, a senior from Paris, California, in Riverside County. A held ball, and Northridge gets their first point on the board. A good hard serve by number 9, Linda Wilson. Eileen Hiss drives it, but it's out of bounds. And so it's a side out to Riverside. Good save by Hiss. Into the net, driven by Kim Holder. She had larceny in her eyes that time. The side out to Northridge.
Just a little bit off in her timing that time.
Kim Holder proves that you don't have to be a monster to play volleyball and be able to spike the ball hard. She is 5'9" and got up high on that one, and with good topspin, if it had put in the net, it would have been a hard shot to stop.
We mentioned last week how important topspin is in getting the ball across the net and involved in the strategy of this game.
An official's timeout, so they'll serve it over again. This is Sue Walter, number 5. You see the score, 15 points to game. The best 3 out of 5 takes it. This is the second Division II NCAA women's volleyball tournament. Last year, Sacramento State captured the initial crown. Like a rocket. Kim Holder, the young lady who will be serving now. 9-1, Riverside leads. Nice touch. Oop. Held ball on the Northridge side. Linda Nelson, number 7, can't believe it.
He's extremely incensed over that last call.
10-1. Nice spike by Hess. Eileen Hiss, a 5'8" junior from Santa Monica. Two points now for Northridge. A double hit ruled on the Riverside side of the net. Good dig that time. A hard spike. Riverside hit the net, so it's now 3-10. Northridge still trailing, but getting back into it. Beautiful dig by Linda Wilson, number 9, on the last play when she really got down close to the hardwood. Fine block by Heather Hafner. The ball was blocked by Hiss and by Debbie Woldridge, number 15, but it went out of bounds.
Fans on the near side did not agree with that call, but Dave, it was cleanly out of bounds.
Well, I think Wayne, what they were saying is that it hit the tape and knocked the player's hands. Furious action. Beautiful tandem block by Woldridge and Hiss. Eileen Hiss now serving deep behind her end line. Trailing by 7. Star Clark's drive is blocked by Woldridge, but out of bounds, so it is now side out to Riverside. They ripped off 9 points in a row, Wayne, but now they're having a hard time getting it. They lead 10-3. The Lady Matadors, I believe, have settled down a bit.
Also, as you indicated, Dave, the momentum is not always going to stay with one team for the course of an opening game, or any game for that matter.
Substitutions, Mosby comes in for Woldridge. Sue Walter comes out, and she is replaced by Amy Barbera. Just crawled over the net. An enthusiastic crowd giving some support to the Matadors. They are down now by 6. Put away by Heather Hafner. The 5'10 freshman, she's only a freshman from Santa Barbara, really took charge of that one, and it is 5-10. And Wayne, if Northridge is able to come back from that early deficit in this game, and they now trail only 6-10, what momentum they're going to have.
The momentum will be really, really on their side in a tremendous way right now. They've forced UC Riverside to call a timeout to try to regroup on their side. They still have the lead. They've got to try to maintain their composure now. That's the story of this game, is to maintain one's composure and at the same time try to make the crowd work for you.
And Riverside coach Sue Gozanski calls a timeout to do just that, settle her team down. They had a huge lead. Now they lead 10-6 in this first game of a best-of-5 series. You look into the Riverside huddle, some concern on the faces that wasn't there a few moments ago.
They know it's not going to be very easy. Even when they had that 9-0 lead, they realized in the back of their minds this is going to be a dogfight all the way through.
Shelly Mosby, a 5'5 freshman from locally here in Sylmar. Their serve goes out of bounds, so it is now side out Riverside, and they have the 10-6 lead. They've got to get to 15 to wrap up the game. Kathy Carley is the server. Heather Hafner with the kill, and the crowd behind us, everyone going boom just before she hit the ball. They knew what was coming. Hafner now serving. The Lady Matadors have sure turned it around. They trail by 3 here in this first game, and Hafner continues to serve. Was going out, but it was hit by Sandra Houston right near the end line. Perhaps next time she'll wait. Nice attempt on the save by Mosby, but not able to get it up in the air. Rather, she hit it out into the stands. And to side out Riverside, they lead 10-7.
It appeared as though Riverside was attempting to keep their composure, and they might have been getting rattled a bit there on that last point, as you see Clark serve there. Great serve.
Good position serve. She ducked it in front of the deep defenders. Hafner dove for it, but couldn't come up with it, and it is 11-7. Deeper serve that time. Amy Barbera really drove that one over the net. Side out to Northridge. They trail 7-11.
And Clark was a little bit upset herself for not returning that one.
Well, it rolled right up around. Listen to the crowd. Linda Nelson, a 5'8 sophomore from Venice, California, makes it 9-11.
Dave, I'm telling you, you could almost close your eyes and figure you were in Pauley Pavilion for a men's basketball game, or the Athletic and Convocation Center at Notre Dame for a basketball game. This crowd is really, really intense.
Star Clark, wiping off the court, took plenty of time on the Riverside side of the net. She was really trying to get her composure as well as that of her teammates. A wise move just to disrupt this charge by the Lady Matadors. Ball on either side. Northridge gets the point. That ball over the net was tipped at the same time by both teams, so it wasn't a held ball either way. Drives one off the hands of Kim Holder, and the Lady Matadors, down 9-0, Wayne, at the start of this game, have tied it up at 11, and listen to this crowd. A standing ovation for the Lady Matadors. They have showed determination and have fought their way back. Look at the score, 11-11, and just a minute ago, it looked like they were going to have to concede the game.
That big, huge lead that Cal Riverside got off to probably was the worst thing for them, Dave. It might have got them a little bit overconfident. They lost their concentration a bit, and when that went, their composure soon followed, because Northridge came storming back into this one behind the raucous crowd that is behind us and all around us. It seems like it appears to engulf us most of the time. And they have come back, charged back to tie this one up 11-11. 11-11, they're playing like a house of fire.
Well, no matter what the sport, there's no place like home. They lead for the first time tonight.
I could not have put it more succinctly myself.
The ruling was that it was tipped, so it's still 11-11. The net touched by Northridge. 12-11. The serving team Riverside leads. 13-11, and now it's the Highlanders' turn to get up and make some noise. So whatever Sue Gazansky said in that timeout worked. Out of bounds. The Northridge blockers did not touch that one, so it is a side out for the Lady Matadors. They trail 11-13. Hard to believe, but this is just the first game of a series that could go 5. The ball blocked, but out of bounds. So it is back to the Highlanders of UC Riverside.
Forwards and Nelson were right there, but the ball did, as you said, go out of bounds.
Beautiful save by Star Clark. Look at number 2. She's all over the court. Riverside supporters thought Hiss held that one. Drives it out of bounds, claiming that it was tipped, but the official, the umpire in the chair, says no. And Riverside 1 point away from the victory. You saw the reaction on the face of Debbie Bush. Eileen Hiss keeps this one from ending. Side out to the Lady Matadors. They're down by 3. They're on the edge of the precipice, but they refuse to fall over. Set by Debbie Bush, driven out of bounds by Kathy Moore. Oh, the umpire says now that it was tipped. And it's a side out to Riverside, and obvious displeasure on the faces of the Northridge players.
That was a heartbreaker.
The Highlanders almost let it get away, but they come back to take the first game. And they lead this best-of-5 match 1-0. We'll be right back with more action from Cal State Northridge following this brief message. Back at Cal State Northridge, a loud crowd is reeling and rocking tonight. They saw an outstanding game in the first of these best-of-5 games. A 15-11 victory in the first game for the Highlanders of Riverside. They almost let it get away.
They certainly did. They had a big lead and they blew it, simply to put it. They had a 9-0 lead. We saw Sacramento, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of last week. We saw Cal State Northridge come storming back to tie at 11-11, but to Riverside's credit, they maintained their composure, Dave. They came back, they won that first one 15-11, and now they have that all-important first game behind them. They're ahead 1-0.
The Lady Matadors fought back. They knotted the score at 11-11, but a well-timed timeout taken by Sue Gazansky, the coach of Riverside, and that apparently did the trick.
I'll tell you one thing, Dave. At the end of that first game, we saw the Cal Riverside team come over to the sidelines, and they were hugging each other and holding each other as if they had just been through a war, which that first game almost nearly was.
Plenty more action to come. That was just the first. 15-11, the Highlanders take it. But now we start game number 2. The team switch side. Matadors in the white will be serving. UC Riverside, as with all UC schools, in the blue and gold. Shelly Mosby will start this game off. Underway in game number 2. That one looked like it was going long. The net was touched, and it's a point to Riverside. Several controversial calls already, Wayne, and all of them have gone against Northridge. The girls giving rather nasty looks to the umpire.
Linda Wilson kicked the ball in frustration after that last exchange.
Beautiful drive by Heather Halfman. 5'10", and she can get up high. Beautiful dig that time. Amy Barbera. Star Clark touched it and went out of bounds. Star, the biggest player on the floor, 6'1½". Driven right into the corner. Beautiful shot that time. Debbie Wood. Slide out to Riverside.
Bush really drilled that one in fine style. You get a good view of Star Clark serving.
That's the volleyball version of in your face.
The in your face disgrace.
Sandra Houston right there to block it along with Kim Holder, and it's 1-1. Good low set. Nice placement. Albeit a bit inadvertent, perhaps. Kim Holder's reaction tells you that she didn't really want to put it there.
I'll tell you, Holder had some radar going for her on that one, Dave.
It is now 2-1. Riverside has taken the lead. They lead in games 1-0.
Not much Star Clark could do. That was coming at her at about 90 miles an hour, it looked like.
Linda Wilson with a good low serve. She really got on top of that one. As we mentioned, Wayne, you can make a volleyball dip and dance if you get the good topspin on it, and that one certainly had it. Let's see if she floats one this time. Line drive serve taken by Clark. Out. Point to Northridge. 3-2, they regain the lead. Low serve barely did crawl over the net. Holder ends that in a hurry. Riverside gets the serve back. Kathy Carley, number 7 now, will be serving. Just like that, the Lady Matadors get it back. A couple of substitutions for Northridge. Sue Walter and Debbie Woldridge come back in the game. Nice high set by Houston. Beautiful. Sandra Houston made that play, Wayne. She had the set up and waiting. It looked like a balloon coming down.
Kim Holder was right there to smack it down on the other side. 5'9" junior from Rolling Hills, California, and one of the all-regional players for Cal Riverside.
Chris's drive is blocked back out of bounds, so it's side out to Northridge. They still lead 3-2. Ball ruled, and Riverside gets it back.
Good call.
Driven out of bounds by Kathy Moore. Side out once again to Northridge. Well, Wayne, we saw last week when Portland State rolled over Sacramento State, the match an hour and 8 minutes and it was all over. I don't think this one's going to be the same. These two squads are fighting too hard. Northridge now takes a 4-2 lead. They're going to be here for a while. Eileen Hiss serving for the Lady Matadors. Hafner. Beautiful save by Hiss. Oh no, that was by Linda Nelson over in the deep corner. Side out to Riverside. They trail 2-4. Good low set. The timing is just incredible on these two squads. Good save by Hiss. The set too deep that time for Kathy Moore to get to it. Her shot goes off the referee. Let it side out to Northridge.
That one was made possible by the good teamwork between Hiss and Hafner, keeping it alive on the right-hand side of the court.
Charlie Mosby, only 5'5", the freshman, now serving. Good serve, got into the vacant spot on the floor. Houston dove for it, but couldn't come up with it.
But there's a few Major League pitchers who'd like to have that kind of pinpoint control, Dave.
Just like that, the side out back to Riverside. They trail by 3. Kathy Moore, who is now serving. Good diving save by Hiss. That's Holder territory. Ball remains in play. Hafner's drive is driven right back to her. Try it again. Out of bounds. Perhaps a little frustration showing itself there, Wayne, after her first one came back to her. The next one went out of bounds.
Hey, we're seeing some very fine athletes on both sides of the net tonight. Just some great players.
And they are giving it their all. This is the end of the road for both teams. Serve hit the net. So it goes back to Northridge. Heather Hafner, the freshman, will serve. Look at Star Clark climb up the net and drive it down to the floor.
That one is still imprinted on Amy Barbera's left side, I believe.
Was not tipped by the Highlanders, so it's a point for the Highlanders. Clark now serving at 4-5. Nice block by Bush. Beautiful shot by Holder right into the corner.
That knocks things up at 5 apiece right now, Dave.
So the Highlanders had the momentum in the first game. Northridge had an early lead in this one, but is now knotted up 5 apiece. The entire Riverside bench screaming that there had been a held ball on the Northridge side. Linda Wilson will now serve at 5-5. Takes a momentary respite.
Things are heating up here. In more ways than one.
You know, it's incredible, Wayne. Clark is in on almost every play on the Riverside area. Put away by 6'8". She got up high to get the top spin on that one. And the Matadors regain the lead. Kim Holder drives it out of bounds, was not touched by any of the white-clad Northridge squad, and it's 7-5. And a timeout is called by Riverside.
Dave, on the subject of number 2, Star Clark of the UC Riverside team, I believe it's easy to see once you notice her tremendous agility to go with that very large body with that great wingspan that she has and long legs. She can just about get to almost any ball that comes in anywhere near her in her area. She's one of the most outstanding athletes we've seen here in the entire tournament.
The players on both sides, I'm tremendously impressed with the amount of determination we've seen out here tonight. They are really in there digging.
Well, this one is, of course, for all the marbles here in NCAA Division II between these two teams with such outstanding winning traditions as, of course, the Lady Matadors. They were 1980 AIAW Division II national champions. And, of course, the Highlanders have been in the playoffs 7 of the last 8 years. They were the 1977 AIAW small college champions. So you've got a lot of history going for both teams tonight.
Enrollment of about 5,000 at Riverside. Small in comparison to the 28,000 enrolled here at Northridge. Ball hit up in the area of the rafters. That is a point for Riverside.
Talk about a break, huh?
Held ball ruled. The crowd doesn't like the call at all. The official indicating the ball was held. But everyone on the Northridge side yelling that it was a legal block. Side goes out now to Northridge.
And we take a moment as number 12 for Riverside, Kathy Moore, prepares the floor a little bit.
Short spike that time. Sandra Houston, the junior from Pomona, California, skying to bring it down. Side out to the Highlanders. And this one, Wayne, I think is going to go right down to the wire. 6-7, now 7-7. A beautiful serve by Kim Holder. She took so much off that one that nobody recognized it until it was already on the floor.
Dave Holder has to be one of the best players you've seen in this tournament at placing the ball. She can put it right where she wants to most of the time, although not that time.
That one was placed off her into the wall. So tied up 7-7. The Northridge Lady Matadors trying to get back in it. They trail 1-0. Hiss once again. Elaine Hiss gets Northridge the point. They now lead 8-7. She has an extremely sore right shoulder, Wayne. We saw her before the match with a huge ice pack on it. Going in for surgery in January, but she's going to finish the season tonight. Side out now to Riverside as that serve hit the net.
She's a gamer, I'll tell you that much here, Dave.
Claiming the ball was tipped. The umpire said no, but one of the linesmen down the end said yes, indeed, the Riverside squad did touch it. Nice touch that time. Kathy Moore once again. Side out to the Islanders. They trail by 1. Bush to serve. Hafner again sending it well beyond the end line, Wayne. She's going to have to bring him down. Beautiful shot that time. Kathy Moore dominating the left side of the court.
And Moore maybe showing Hafner how to do it. Drill it right into the corner there, into the back line.
Timeout is called by Northridge. They trail for the first time in this one. Crowd on both sides really getting into it this time.
Was that Moses I saw a moment ago?
You see, Riverside has taken the lead in this second game. You've really got to hand it to the women's athletic program here at Cal State Northridge. Their Lady Matador baseball team, an outstanding season, and they very nearly captured the national crown. And now here's the volleyball team, and they're playing for the national title. 9-8, the Highlanders with the lead, and they are serving. Kathy Bush. About that one.
And that, of course, gets the Riverside folks up across the way there and cheering.
The ball was held by Debbie Bush. The side out goes to Northridge. They trail now by 2, 8-10. Barbera and Mosby come back in the game. They replace Wooldridge and Sue Walton. Side out goes back to Riverside. Over 11-8.
And they say football's a game of inches.
Kathy Moore set to serve. Grim determination on the faces of the Northridge squad now. If they lose this game, it's going to be an extremely long uphill battle. Being 6-1.5 shown there by Star Clark. Timeout called by Northridge. They are down by 4. It is 12-8. And we are in the second game.
Just a beautiful set pass from Kathy Carley and just a tremendous kill by, of course, the star of the game, I guess you could say so far, Star Clark. She just drove it home with malice aforethought, apparently.
So Northridge with the early lead in this game, suddenly finding themselves down. Remember, next week, we start our coverage of high school basketball. The Beverly Hills Normans will travel to Encino to take on the Crespi Celts, and that should be an outstanding game in the CIF division. That's Monday at 7:30 here on KBLY Channel 3, your Valley Sports station. The Riverside supporters were celebrating that time, but Northridge kept it in play. Side out to Northridge. They've got to do something in a hurry, Wayne. They're down 12-8. Clark just too much for Linda Nelson and Linda Wilson. She is dominating this game. A double hit called against the Matadors. Every call seems to have gone against the home team. 13-8 now, Star Clark serving. 2 points away from taking a huge 2-0 lead. Out of bounds, side out back to Northridge, and they are now in a do-or-die situation. Linda Wilson.
Coach Walt Kerr has got to feel that some of the calls are going to start going his way, Dave.
Hit it! Drive it over that?
This splits the defense, but they are able to cover. Look at the speed on those shots. Unbelievable, Wayne. Look at this. The crowd screaming for a double hit. Beautifully kept in play by Heather Hafner. That extra effort between winning and losing sometimes makes the difference. Heather Hafner diving, keeping it in play, and the ball driven out of bounds. And once again, Clark taking time out to mop up the floor wisely. The Matadors pull within 4.
What a remarkable exchange that last time. Great athletics by Hafner and Clark.
Slidell goes back to the Highlanders of Riverside. 13-9, they're 2 points away from taking the second game. The serve goes out. As far as I can tell, Sue Guzanski still has her hair. She hasn't pulled it off.
Dave, that's the second time that's happened to Kathy Carley on the serve here this evening. She's going to have to bring him down and a little less juice on those to keep him in.
Sue Walter tried to go down to the floor for it, but just too much steam. If you don't think a volleyball hurts when it's going that fast, you're wrong.
Just ask the linesman over there. He got out of the way quickly of that one.
It's a very good reason why these are long sleeve shirts worn by these players. Beautiful block that time. Eileen Hiss went up with Debbie Woldridge, and it is side out for Northridge.
Impressive how the Lady Matadors refused to fold up.
They are down by 4. They cannot let Riverside get 2 more points in this game.
Linda Nelson to serve.
Nice touch. A little bit of deking going on that time. A fake put on by Sandra Houston, the woman you see serving. She went up as if she was going to knock it back over the net, knowing full well it was still on the Northridge side. And her reaction slowed the reaction of some of the Lady Matadors.
It's an important part of this game.
We never took too kindly to that down in the beach volleyball rooms.
And there you get a nice look at the Northridge bench there for a moment.
13-9, his serving. Just crawls over a great diving save. The ball was in, came down on the line. Side out to Riverside.
Great dink by Kathy Moore that time. She placed it perfectly. 13-9, 9-13. 13-9, excuse me. Riverside on top.
Heather Hafner just mishit that one. A tough time for her to do it. It is game point, 14-9. And Riverside already leading 1-0, about to take a giant step toward this 1982 championship. But not if Hafner has anything to do about it. She drove that one with a vengeance.
I thought you were going to make a great play for a second there, Dave. Well, it was really itching to see you make a diving dig for that one, but it was not to be.
They're refusing to hold it up in this one.
Simply a tremendous block that time by Linda Wilson, the junior from Canyon Lake. She came up and just belted it right back into the face of Star Clark and company.
11-14. Riverside once again takes the side out. (14-11). This could knock the game up. Hafner keeps it alive. drives it out of bounds. Hafner will be serving.
Kim Holder, one of the finer placement players in this game. She's had a little bit too much on it that time.
Well, probably a little anxious, knowing she could have put the game away. Look at the Matadors all over the court. The center, Donna Miyasaka. 12-14. Hafner will now be serving. Timeout is called by Riverside. Wayne, we saw in the first game, just when it looked like the Lady Matadors were going to take it, Riverside with a well-timed timeout was able to stop the momentum. Right now, the Lady Matadors, once again, they're on the verge of losing this game, but they are flying all of a sudden, and again, a timeout taken, so let's see what the result is.
It'll be interesting to see the result of that.
Donna Miyasako, who is in the game for Northridge, number 3, only 5'1". She's a senior from Buena Park.
There you get a shot of the UC Riverside huddle right there.
You're watching Division II volleyball on KVLY, your Valley Sports station. This is the championship. Riverside with a 1-0 lead in games. They're on the verge of winning game 2, but right now Northridge serving down 12-14. Holder able to give the ball back to Riverside, and Star Clark will now be serving for the game. Low line drive serve. Hiss had to go to the wood to get that one. Sandra Houston gives Riverside a 2-0 lead in games. And now it is going to be a long road for Northridge. We'll be back for more action following this message. Back at Cal State Northridge, a lull in the action and a hush falls over the crowd. Many of the hometown supporters here anticipating a Division II NCAA championship being brought home to Northridge are suddenly silenced by the fact that their Matadors are trailing 2-0 in this best-of-5 match.
Dave, we see a lot of grim faces here on the near side. The supporters coming to this game hoping to see the Lady Matadors take this match, and with it the Division II championship, and they are possibly going, there's a good possibility that they're going to be sorely disappointed as you get a good look at the huddle for the UC Riverside team right there. The Highlanders own a commanding lead right now of 2-0 as we're heading into the third game of this match.
The Highlanders take the court once again. They are on the doorstep. The Division II NCAA championship within their grasp. For Riverside, Star Clark and Kim Holder, the standouts. They have been outstanding throughout. Kathy Moore, Debbie Bush, Sandra Houston, all contributing to their 2-0 lead. And a solemn bunch of Matadors now begin to file back out onto the floor.
Well, the Matadors have been led tonight by Heather Hafner and Eileen Hiss. They're all regional players, but they haven't been getting a whole lot of support, and it's in the nature of a team effort, and it has hurt them in the first 2 games. Let's see if they can pull together and stay alive here in this third one.
Just before the start of game number 3.
And set to serve for UC Riverside, of course, is their captain, Debbie Bush, a junior from Bakersfield.
She stands 5'6". Immediately 1-0. Again on the far sideline, Lyndon Nelson claiming the ball was tipped by somebody from Riverside. The official right there shaking his head no. Riverside jumps out to a 1-0 lead. And Eileen Hiss's set goes off part of the gymnastics apparatus up in the ceiling here. And it is quickly 2-0. The Matadors get it back on the side out. They trail by 2. They have to win this game or it's over until next season. Point goes to Northridge. Point goes to Riverside. Good touch shown that time by Kathy Moore. Good topspin by Hiss. Side out to Northridge. They trail 1-2 here in this third game. Good touch that time by Debbie Woldridge, the 5'10 junior from Bellflower. And quickly, Sue Walter set to serve once again. It is 2-2, but time taken as a wet spot being mopped up on the Riverside area. Clark. Kept in play by the Matadors. Kim Holder with a beautiful drive. Knocked Heather Hafner backwards with that one. 2-2 Star Clark will serve. She wears that numeral on her jersey. Northridge gets the ball back quickly. Linda Nelson, the sophomore, to serve. Look at Holder drive that thing. It's a blur going over the net.
Nelson nearly lost a couple of toes on that one.
Bush and Houston, they're charged up. Look at Bush.
Pushed a little dance after that one there to show her exultation at that point.
Hafner with some touch, but quickly covered by the Highlanders. The Highlanders never out of position. They are there waiting every time. The ball was held, hit between the forearms, hit one of the forearms first, and you can't do that. You can't double hit. So the ball goes back to Northridge, and Eileen Hiss will serve. Houston got it to crawl over the net. And it is side out to Riverside.
Hey, Riverside playing with extreme confidence right now. They're very, very up. They're very, very together. And they look like a team that's going to be a champion.
Well, they've got that degree of relaxation that a team up 2 games to none can have. They're having fun out there, Wayne.
As opposed to the Northridge team, which is not right now. In that last play, we saw, of course, number 7, Linda Nelson, and Eileen Hiss going down to the hardwood.
Hiss hit one that looked like it was going out. Riverside now beginning to pull away.
Nice diving try by Nelson. Just wasn't quite good enough.
6-2. And it looks like time for a timeout for Northridge, and that's exactly what's going to happen here.
Dave, Kim Holder made that play possible with one of the best digs we've seen tonight. She went really down hard to the floor and kept that one alive, set up the point.
So with a timeout on the floor, you see the scores. 15-11 in the first game, 15-12 in the second game. Both of them, Northridge fighting back. And in the second game, looked for a moment like they were going to take it. They had the early lead and then lost it and then came back on again. But now they find themselves down 6-2 in what may be the final game of the 1982 season for them. Back at 33-9 going into tonight's game.
The back of Sue Gazansky just a moment ago, exhorting her troops.
You know that the Lady Matadors are in over their head. They played Riverside 5 times this year. They beat them twice. Hoping to knot the season series and at the same time take the championship with it. Debbie Woldridge says that's how you do it.
Woolridge will now come out of the game along with number 5, Sue Walter.
Mosby serving at 2-6. The ball out of bounds, but tipped. No, on the line, the official says. I think it was tipped by one of the Matadors anyway. Good touch by Hafner. Clark, beautiful diving play by Hiss. Riverside with another point. They are now only 8 points away from the Division II NCAA championship. The crowd calling for a double hit, and that is going to be the call.
That was fairly obvious. Even the Riverside players knew that one.
Hafner's serve out of bounds, and it was not touched, even though the diving attempt was made by Houston. Took their hands away, and Riverside with a 7-2 lead will now be serving once again. Ball out of bounds. Delayed call by the linesman that time. Linda Wilson's shot just out. Star Clark up there to tip it. And Riverside is getting closer to that championship.
Star Clark continues to amaze and impress me with her style and ability of play. She's just an all-around tremendous performer.
Good court sense and plays it smart. Furious action over the net. Amy Barbara. The net was hit by one of the Riverside players. And the ball will go on a side out to Northridge. They are down 2-9, and they have got to get some points now or this is going to be all over. Linda Wilson will serve. Houston there as she has been all night. Mosby keeps it in play on a last-second save. This couldn't quite get it to go over the net. Sent it transverse across the net.
The coordination team-wise is just not there right now for Northridge. Dave, you have to wonder if they can put it together before Riverside walks away with this one.
The difference, Riverside really staying in their areas. The Northridge players running around, getting out of their assigned zones. Timeout called by Northridge. Perhaps attempting to stave off the inevitable. They are down 10-2. They are 5 points away from seeing their season end with a number 2 ranking in this year's Division II NCAA women's volleyball. They were not seeded to win the tournament. Riverside frankly was, and perhaps the class of Riverside showing now as they have a commanding lead in the third game. and they already lead 2-0 in games.
Whatever the result of tonight's action, we have seen some really tremendous volleyball the last 2 weeks by all the squads involved here, particularly tonight's game where the intensity has reached, I would think, a tremendous high.
Well, tonight's action really showing the difference between a consolation game and a championship game. The players tonight, they are going all out. They know there's no tomorrow. Northridge just trying to keep the day going a little longer.
And the bands have a lot to do with that, too. They generate a lot of intensity, as we have seen.
They came here to yell. Heather Hafner says we're going to get back one shot at a time. It's a side out now for Northridge. Sue Walter's serve comes down. The net hit by Northridge anyway, so the side out to Riverside. 10-2, and Star Clark, the senior, she and Kathy Moore, the senior starters for Riverside. Nice touch shown that time by Linda Nelson. Only one senior on the entire Northridge squad, Donna Miyasako, and we have only seen her for a brief appearance, so Northridge will be very strong coming back next year. And Riverside losing Moore and Star Clark, it's going to be tough to replace them.
Now you see the back of Nelson there getting ready to serve. She's, of course, a 5'8" sophomore from Venice, where culture meets the sea.
Serve seemed to cross up Clark that time, much like a hitter lunging in a knuckleball. 3-10. Again, a soft serve. Good drive. Beautiful spike. Sandra Houston. They're celebrating on the blue side of the net. They lead 10-3. Closing in on the Crown. They are 4 points away.
Kathy Curley is the one now serving. She's a 5'9" junior from Los Alamitos. She's the one who had problems earlier in the game, in the games earlier, trying to get the ball too deep, rather getting it too deep. Drawing towards a possibly an inevitable conclusion right now. 12-3. And once again, Carly to serve.
Donna Miyasako, the senior, number 3, back in the game for Northridge.
What is that?
A little mix-up that time. Wooldridge went up for a fake, and there was nobody behind her for the spike, and it is 13-3.
Composure is definitely not there for Northridge.
They get the ball back, however. Eileen Hiss races back almost to the baseline of the basketball court. In fact, on the baseline of the basketball court. She now serves with her team down by 10. And they are 2 points away from elimination as Miyasako comes out. Line drive serve. Line drive return. Side out once again to Riverside. Kim Holder, the 5'9" junior who has had so much to do with this big lead, serving for Riverside, but it's not over yet. Side out once again to Northridge, a couple more replacements. Wooldridge comes out. She and Sue Walter have been shuttling all night with Amy Barbera and Shelly Mosby, and Mosby will now be in to serve. Hafner drove it off Holder. Nice diving save that time. Linda Wilson gives Northridge a point. It is 4-13.
You can tell she's developed her style playing at Venice Beach growing up.
out of bounds. 5-13. Well, the Lady Matadors aren't folding up. Trying to give their home fans at least one win in games. They trail 2-0 and they're on the verge of elimination. This with the left hand. Hafner. Side out to Riverside. 2 points away from an NCAA championship.
And of course, the dejection is there in the faces of Heather Hafner, Eileen Hiss, and Linda Nelson as the three of them went sprawling to the floor in a vain attempt to keep the ball alive.
Sandra Houston, who has come on and played outstanding in the last couple of games serving, makes a great save there. But it's side out once again to Northridge. Heather Hafner standing right on the end line. Will serve. Her squad trails 5-13, but refusing to fold. Clark, saved by Hiss. Nelson, a good save. But the whistle blows on an illegal hit. From the side out to Riverside. Bush. The net hit by Riverside. So side out once again to Northridge.
Riverside has such a big lead that Clark, who was called for hitting the net that time, could afford to giggle about it.
Look at the drive by number 7, Kathy Harley. Side out to Riverside. So as we trade advantage here. A serve right into the vulnerable middle of the court. Fell in between Amy Barbera and Linda Wilson. And it is match point for Riverside. It is championship point. That'll do it. Look at them. The Highlanders of UC Riverside are the 1982 NCAA Division II volleyball champions. Straight game victories. The Matadors coming over to congratulate the victorious Highlanders. We'll be back with some post-game comments following these messages.
Back here at Cal State Northridge, where it's all over here in the NCAA Division II Women's Volleyball Championships. A relatively easy victory for University of California Riverside, 15-11, 15-12, and going away 15-5 in the third game. I'm Wade Layton D'Antoni here for the postgame show. Let's go down courtside to Dave Marcus for the postgame activities. Dave?
Thank you, Wayne. Down here on the floor, I'm going to try to get a word with some of the victorious Highlanders. Let's see if we can talk with Star Clark. She is standing right next to us. And we are going to try to get a word with her in her senior season. Star, can we get a word with you? Congratulations in your senior season, an NCAA championship. How does it feel?
What a way to close it.
You were outstanding in the entire game tonight. Your squad maintaining position and you personally diving all over the floor. Did the fact that this is your senior year mean that much more to you?
A whole bunch more. The fact that this was my last game has meant so much this whole week.
Your squad dedicating this season to one of your teammates who unfortunately passed away last season. It's got to feel good that you reached your goal.
Very much so. It's excellent to be on this team.
What's next for you after graduation?
Coaching. Finishing up my degree and then trying to get into coaching.
Star Clark, an outstanding game. The senior from UC Riverside, you're a champion. Congratulations. The awards being given out right now to the third and fourth place teams who you saw last week on KVLY. We'll try to get a word with some more of the Riverside players. They are over here sort of settling down after the championship victory, and we'll see who we can talk to. Let's see if we can get a word with Kim Holder. She's right now putting her sweats back on, so discretion being the better part of valor, we're going to wait just a minute. The award ceremony continues to go on. They will give the awards to Portland State, the third-place team, and also will give the awards to Cal State Northridge, finishing second. Let's see if we can get a word with Kim Holder. Kim Holder, an outstanding game tonight. It's got to feel good to win that championship.
Oh, yeah, it feels really good.
Kim, did your team have any specific goals in mind as to how to handle Northridge tonight? You played them 5 times this year. Anything different tonight?
No, I think that if we just play our best, we can pretty much beat them as long as we play to our potential. I think that's the key right there, because times that we've lost against them, we haven't played to our full potential.
If this isn't your full potential, I hate to see what it is. Your squad was outstanding tonight. Did you ever think you could win in 3 straight games?
Yeah, we've worked so hard for so long, and for a lot of the girls, it's been 3 years now that we've been really close to winning the big one, you know, and this was the year for us.
You got it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kim Holder, outstanding tonight. She was right in the center. The awards now being given to the Lady Matadors behind us as the second-place finishers in the Division II championships. And in just a moment, it will be time for the Riverside squad to get their awards. The second-place awards now coming out to Northridge. Get a chance, if we can, to talk to the coach. Coach, congratulations. Your squad played great tonight.
Thanks a lot.
We noticed that you called a couple of very well-timed timeouts in the first game. You really took the momentum away from Northridge just when they were getting it back.
Well, they were pretty nervous, and I think anything that stopped them for a moment got them thinking.
Tonight, the biggest moment in your career?
Well, this is my second national championship, and so it's great. It's exciting, but the first one was probably pretty exciting, too.
Well, your squad played a near-flawless game. I'm sure that you couldn't have expected any more than that. Straight game victory.
Thanks a lot. We tried not to expect anything. The last month we've been playing point by point and not beyond, and that's what we tried to do here.
Did you get worried at any time during the night?
I was worried the whole time.
Well, your team certainly kept it together the entire game. Congratulations, you're the champions.
Thanks very much.
We're going to go back to Wayne D'Antoni now, who is back up in the booth. And Wayne, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave Marcus. On one end, a very dejected group of Cal State Northridge Lady Matadors, but at the other end, a most jubilant bunch of champions from the University of California at Riverside. They're receiving their awards right now, and it's all over. That's going to wrap things up here from Cal State University at Northridge. Don't forget, next week at 7:30, right here on KVLY, we tip off our high school basketball coverage for the 82-83 season. Beverly Hills travels to Crespi to take on the Celts. Be with us as Dave Marcus and I will be bringing you all the action of that exciting contest. For Dave Marcus, this is Wayne Leighton D'Antoni saying good night, everybody, reminding you once again, the final UC Riverside over Cal State Northridge in the NCAA Division II National Championships.